Hi, and welcome to my channel, All Things BBL, where I go over everything related to the BBL surgery. In today's video, we'll be going over the cost of a BBL and also the cost of aftercare. And before I go into all the expenses, I do want to note, everyone said the same thing, which turned out to be true. Whatever your doctor's amount is, double that, and that will be your expenses for the entire pre-op, post-op, and aftercare. So that's something to really take into consideration, is to double the price that the surgeon gives you, and that's the total price that you're gonna spend throughout the whole healing process. So the first cost we'll be going over is the actual surgery, BBL with Lipo 360. BBL is the Brazilian butt lift, and the Lipo 360 is where they take lipo from your stomach and your lower back and your upper back, and then the BBL Brazilian butt lift is where they transfer that fat into your hips and your butt. I went to Dr. Jonathan Fisher in Miami, Florida, and at the time of my surgery, May 25th, 2021, I was charged $8,500. So in the $8,500, that was for the BBL and Lipo 360, it was a package. I got, I got one faja. It came with 5 free massages, 4 pads to go into your faja, an ab board and a back board, and also the drug test was included. I'll be looking at my notes, so I'll be looking down a little bit. So that was $8,500 just for the surgery from Dr. Fisher. But other types of expenses when it comes to the doctor was a $100 COVID test. So when I actually went to pre-op, I had to get another COVID test where they prick your finger, and that was an additional $100. And also Dr. Fisher likes to give the Cell Saver. Again, the Cell Saver is optional, but that was $550. Cell Saver is like a blood transfusion, but using your own blood. So they recycle your own blood and they put it back into you so you heal better. So that was an additional $550. And then I also bought an additional faja. Now again, the package comes with one faja, but I wanted to buy another faja so I could, trade off when one was washing. So the additional faja was $120. So for the doctor expense, let me look at my notes. The total was $9,270 with all that stuff that I mentioned, all the additional stuff. So for the flights, I flew American. I was coming from the West Coast, so I had a direct flight into Miami. The total for my flights were $844. And I think it was very expensive because I went during Memorial Day weekend, May 25th. So when you're planning your surgery, try and plan your surgery around a non-holiday weekend or off-peak times so you get cheaper flights. Coming back, I chose a 2-seater seat. So I purchased one seat at full price, and then they were able to give me the second seat at like a fraction of the cost, maybe like $140 to buy the seat next to me. So that was a plus, because coming back, I wanted to make sure I wasn't sitting next to anyone, and I wanted to be able to get up and down and walk around the aisles without having to be in anyone's way. So having that 2-seater all to myself, that was great. Again, every flight is different. Some flights you just have the 3 seats. So I would suggest you get an aisle seat definitely, or try and buy out the whole row. Or if you do first class, that's even better, or business class. So flights were expensive because of the holiday weekend. So when it comes to hotels, I stayed at the Residence Inn Miami Airport. I'll try and throw a picture up in here. It was a very nice hotel, very close to the airport and close to Dr. Fisher's office. I was in Miami for 10 days, 9 nights, and the hotel was $1,915, I believe. Yeah, $1,915. So each night was like $179 a night plus tax. But it was a nice room, and it comes with a full kitchen. Well, not an oven, but it has a stove top. It had toaster oven, microwave oven, refrigerator. So it was definitely very comfortable. It has a swimming pool. Not that you're going to use the swimming pool, but it's a big complex, the Residence in Miami. So so you could walk around outside without having to leave the complex, and it's just a nice setting. I would highly recommend going to the residence in Miami Airport. I didn't want to stay at an Airbnb. I looked into Airbnbs and they have so many fees, cleaning fees. I don't know, Airbnbs just seem to have more fees than hotels. And there weren't many that were very close to Dr. Fisher's office. So I just scratched the Airbnb. Airbnb is good if you have a lot of people and maybe you could like book one further away from Miami Airport, but I wanted to stay close to everything. So that was the hotel charge. And again, since I went during a holiday weekend, prices for the hotel were more expensive. And so another charge that I had was I hired a private nurse. I used StayRN. I'll throw a picture up here on the screen to show you what my package included. I chose the 3-day deluxe package. So I had a nurse on the first day for 18 hours, then the second day, 4 hours, and then the third day, 2 hours. And again, I'll put something up here on the screen so you can see what the full package included. And that was $17.50 for the private nurse. Some people go to recovery homes, which will be a tad bit cheaper and you get more support, but I was traveling with my dog, so I couldn't use a recovery home, so I had no choice but to use a private nursing service since I was traveling alone, but with a dog. So when it comes to supplies, my total amount for supplies were $760. I'm gonna be looking at my notes just to give you the breakdown of what the supplies included. So for food, I actually, I went food shopping once I was down there because my hotel had a full kitchen, but I did go overboard with buying food and like utensils and cups and everything because the hotel didn't have like all the amenities, meaning plates and spoons and things like that, or measuring cups. And so I didn't know how low my appetite was gonna be after surgery, so I was just buying so much. And I refused to use Uber Eats. So I said, I'm gonna eat everything, make everything at home or at the hotel. So I ended up spending like $250 at the supermarket. But again, that included not just food, but that was like utensils. I had to buy plates and all the other extra stuff. But I did go overboard with the food. And then for medical supplies, I didn't go too overboard with buying a lot of stuff. I would say I spent about $200. I do have another video, discussing everything I bought like in great detail with my supplies. I bought all my supplies in Miami. I didn't want to take anything down there because it just was too much for my suitcase. So I bought everything down there and I ended up leaving like all the food I didn't use. I ended up leaving it down there, all the extra supplies, except for like my Tylenols. All my extra supplies I ended up leaving down in Miami. So don't go too overboard with supplies. And then the last is clothing. Yeah, so for clothing, I would say I bought maybe $150 worth of new clothes, or not new clothes, but clothes for this trip specifically. I had to get long night shirts. I had to get like long maxi dresses. So that was like about $100, and I had to buy slides, like slippers or something easy to walk in. So you can't like wear sneakers or anything, but you gotta wear either slippers or like Nike slides. I actually bought Crocs. So for clothing, I would say I spent about $150, which isn't too bad. Excuse me. So the total for that, like I said, that was a total of $760. And the last expense that we're gonna go over is massages. Again, 5 massages come with the package when you choose Jonathan Fisher. Well, at the time that I had surgery, 5 massages came in the package for free. And then when I came back home, I got 7 massages and I got them once a week and they were each $143. So that was a lot spent on massages. Let me look at my notes. Total for massages, I spent $1,000 on massages. And then this was after I came back home. So the total cost for everything, well, everything that we discussed in this video was $15,539. So going through all these expenses to make this video was very eye-opening. When you're going through it, you forget what you spend. Either you're putting things on credit cards, you just forget how much you're spending, and little things just add up. So going through my expenses was a little depressing, But as I said, double the amount that your surgeon quotes you, and that will be your total cost. So think about it. My cost for the actual surgery was $8,500. Doubling that would be what, $1,650 or $1,700? I spent close to that. I spent $15,539. So that estimate is about right to double your doctor's price, and that's how much you should budget. I probably should have gotten more massages at home, but I'm not spending any more money on massages. The only thing I'll spend money on now is getting like a custom faja, maybe from Tributo. Maybe I'll think about doing that. But other than that, my expenses are done. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like the video and leave a comment below. Let me know what other topics you'd like me to cover. And make sure you subscribe.